Martin, welcome to episode 44. You're looking
Hello, Dave.
Looking very smart, and you've had a haircut.
No.
Oh.
No. It's just a mop. It's just all pressed down by these headphones. If I took this off, it's just a mop on my head. I haven't really had a chance to get to the hairdressers yet since they've reopened.
So now I have had my vaccine. I felt absolutely awful. It was brutal. It was, I mean, clearly nowhere near as bad as COVID could and would be. But I was, for 2 days, I was knocked out. I was properly achy, feeling rotten. And I've heard that the second one is worse for you than the first one, or worse effect. You've had two? Yep.
I've had one. I had AstraZeneca. Is that the same as the one you had?
Yes.
That does. I mean, this is totally anecdotal. That does seem to be the one that people say they don't feel well afterwards. I think I was 1 day.
Okay.
I had it on the Saturday. I woke up Sunday feeling like I had a hangover.
Right.
Which was, I hadn't been drinking, so that was not really likely. And I just lay on the sofa all day feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah.
But by the evening, I felt better. I got up, made dinner, the kids were coming over.
Yeah.
But you had another 24 hours of it after that.
Yeah. Now I've heard the stronger your immune system is, the worse the reaction. So clearly I'm like some kind of...
No, I think it's these little puny youngsters like yourself can't just hack it. Yeah.
Tell me what it's like, Grandad. Right. Okay. We've got more talk about our top 5 from last week than we're going to talk about it. So we're going to talk about other people's suggestions for best war movies, because it's a hot topic, and I've watched certainly
big reactions, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I've watched one of them since. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to go through I think we've got most of the games in now for the round 1 of the tournament. So we're going to go through at least 7 of those games. Although I think we've got blog files for most of them. And we're going to do a Patreon giveaway as well. So we've got a new Patreon. So again, thank you to all the Patreons. We appreciate it immensely. You guys give us the reason to get up and do this, don't we? I mean, Martin, you could be off swanning with models and doing all sorts.
Playboy lifestyle I give up for this hobby. Unbelievable.
I was thinking of model soldiers and things. But so we're gonna give away. So first of all, Igor Luckinoff, our Russian friend from the Russian ASL club. Those guys have been playing through the scenario of the month. So I've put me in touch with Steve Stewart from Stu's Replays, who does a great job of going through those. So I'd recommend, again, if you're thinking about something to play, have a play of the scenario of the month. Submit the log file on the scenario archive. Stu may review it and go through it on one of his videos. So that's worth doing. You've been playing some of our Patreon training scenarios, haven't you, Martin? I know.
Yes.
It didn't go quite to plan the first playthrough. Yeah,
I mean, actually, you got to think about it. I played through the first 2 more than once before I recorded it properly, like kind of in earnest. And I think I made the mistake of playing Fifth Line of Attack, which is your tank one, and recording it and thinking I'll just play it through and that'll be fine. But actually, it didn't quite go the way perhaps I wanted it to, in terms of like illustrating some of the rules I wanted to show. So that's all the kind of introductory stuff's done for that. Just need to play it through. It plays very quickly. So.
Good. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and that's going to be cool. So we'll go through the bits and pieces. Anything else going on with you? Have you played anything else? You played in the tournament. Did you play Richard Dagnall again?
Yeah, me and Richard met up again. We've been struggling to meet up to finish off the second game that we started. I'm back at work. I think I played him in the tournament during the school Easter holidays, and we're back at work now. But hoping to catch up with him again shortly and finish off the second game that we started.
Right, excellent. All right then. So top 5 movies. Obviously, we got them all wrong. Clearly, I still think it's harsh. I thought Fury was all right. I thought apparently people didn't like Fury at all. They were not so keen on Inglourious Basterds, which again I think's a great film. But anyway, we're going to go through a list of all the ones that other people recommended to give you an idea of if it's something you want to watch. So the first one and I watched this afterwards, was The Brest Fortress, and this is on YouTube. At least I think in the US and in the UK, so you can watch it. It's a Russian film all around the Brest Fortress, basically, and the attack that Germany basically had on this. I don't know if you know much about it, Martin, or
the Brest Fortress in Brittany.
No, I think it's in Russia somewhere.
I clearly know
I mean,
nothing about.
maybe it is in. I think it's in Russia.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah. No, I know nothing about it, Dave. Thanks
Yeah.
for asking in front of a global audience. Yeah.
Well, let me try to educate you the best I can.
Yeah, please do.
Not going to watch the film, but it's all right. I didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to, and I'd seen it before and remembered that it was okay. I don't know what it is. I think a lot of it tells similar stories to similar characters, and it's all quite tragic. I mean, it's war and it's it's brutal and all this kind of stuff, but it's good. It's watchable. It's I like to see different nationalities' takes on the war and bits and pieces. And what was interesting was the disbelief of many Russians about the German betrayal at the start of the Second World War at the start of when Germany attacked Russia. So that was quite interesting. But you get a good glimpse of commissars, and the commissars are almost the good guys in this one. They're the nice guys. I know. Is it War of the Rats? Or any of the gates? I keep getting them too mixed up. But the commissars there are quite brutal, I think. But in this one, they're quite cool. But anyway, so worth watching and on YouTube. And we're going to talk about one that we're going to watch next. You and I.
Yes. Can I just say, while you were talking, I just Googled, and there is a Brest in Brittany, in France, and it was declared a fortress by the Germans.
Okay.
But it is not the one in Brest Fortress, which is a film very clearly set in the Eastern Front.
Well, okay, then you've got nothing to be ashamed about. You can retract your concern.
But we're going to talk about Kelly's Heroes, aren't we?
Yes, that's right. So we're both going to watch that and give a. Now I've seen it before. You may have seen it before. I've seen it a long time ago, and we'll talk about that next time about how we feel. What's that? Because a lot of people talk about it as being one of the best films. Yeah. To me, I thought it was a little bit quirky and humorous, but I didn't understand. But anyway, we'll figure out.
We'll just sort of do a reaction to next time.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Good.
All right, and there was a few others. Battlegrounds, Canal, spelled with a K. The Clint Eastwood ones, Flag of Our Fathers, and Letters from Iwo Jima.
Now those two I think are quite. So I didn't particularly enjoy Flag of Our Fathers because there wasn't enough fighting in it for me.
Right. Yeah. Agreed.
But I really liked the Iwo Jima film. I thought that was excellent. So that's the one from the Japanese perspective. But what disappointed me was that the two films were sort of. The idea was that one was from the American perspective and one was from the Japanese perspective, but they were actually very different films. The Flags of Our Fathers was an awful lot about raising money and sending heroes back to America to raise money with war bonds and things like that. Whereas the Iwo Jima film, they were digging trenches, sighting machine guns. And I love that Iwo Jima film. I thought that was really, really good, but such a different film. It didn't feel like the partner to Flags of Our Fathers.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And it showed the tenacity, didn't it, of the Japanese dug-in defenders there, and how difficult that was. I mean, again, absolutely brutal. We wouldn't last 5 minutes in that, I don't think.
No.
There was a few others that came up. Stalingrad, which
that's
have you watched? You've seen it, yeah?
I've seen it. That's a good film, yeah. That's in German. It's a German film. And I love the way it starts because they're all like in swimming, not because they're in swimming trunks, but there's all the platoon are down they're in Italy, I think, like enjoying the beach, and they got like, Italian girlfriends and things like that. And they all get loaded up, all hung over onto a train and sent to the Russian front. They're all young, happy, excited. And my God, that turns around.
right. I'm going to watch that then.
That has its grim moments, that film. Have you seen it?
No, I don't think I have. I don't recognise it.
Very worth watching. Very worth watching. And it has some ASL moments. It absolutely has some ASL type moments.
Okay.
There's one bit when they're in foxholes and the Russian tanks are going over them, and they're putting demolition charges on the backs of the tanks after they've passed them. I don't know how realistic it is, whatever, but that looked like an ASL type moment to me.
Yeah, that sounds good. White Tigers. White Tiger is another one. I've not come across that.
No.
Siege of Sevastopol. Have you seen
Don't
that?
know it.
No.
I think it's another Russian film. Yeah.
Right. Dirty Dozen, which I've seen. I'm sure you've seen.
Yeah, that was the everybody used to watch that. It was one of the big films, wasn't it, in the past?
Yeah. And I mean, talking of big films, The Great Escape as well.
Yeah.
Classic Christmas film. And Bridge Over the River Kwai as well.
Yeah.
So films that we'll try to revisit and give a little David Martin review of, because our opinion's worth a lot, obviously.
I think one person liked my choice of the Bridge at Remagen.
Okay.
We had one thumbs up for that from one person. So
your daughter's been back on YouTube again, clearly. Supporting you. Good stuff. All right, so we're going to flip over and start to talk about the tournament scenario.
Yes.
Trois d'Appui. Go on, you pronounce it better.
No, that's very good, Dave.
Oh, was it?
Très bien, as they say in Bath. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right. Okay, so let's flip over and see what we're going on. Hang on a second. Okay, Martin. So, shall we talk about Point de Puy and your game against Richard? And if you want to give us an overview of the scenario as well, that'd be great.
That'd be great. So it's 6 turns long. Relatively late in the war, October 1944. The Germans have got 6 turns. They come in from the east edge, the top board up there, and they have to capture hex 3Q8. That's where that roadblock is, if you can see the roadblock on there. Defending against that are 6 American first-line squads, so 6 666s. They have a 9-2 leader, an 80 leader, a medium machine gun, and 3 bazooka 44s, which they can secretly record which squads, half squads, etc., in possession of that. Obviously, bazooka 44 is easily capable of taking. Okay, so I haven't talked about the Germans yet. So the Germans coming on are 4.5 squads. I think a lot of the people playing, including me and Richard, took the American balance, which reduced the Germans to 4 squads. So I was playing with 4 squads, first line German squads, 2 8-1 leaders, 2 medium machine guns, and then a range of 6 vehicles, mostly half tracks, capable of taking, German infantry.
Right.
So,
okay.
So I think one of the kind of interesting things about this really is that the Americans are able to very much concentrate their defence. There's one hex they've got to defend. They don't need to spread out. Ultimately, they're going to be sort of converging, aren't they, on that on defending that place. The very interesting kind of dilemma for the Germans is that they've got these sort of mobile wooden buildings to move around in, very highly mobile. In the half tracks, you can even form multi-hex fire groups. You've got +2 TEM to pretty much every shot. But those bazookas, they are literally just a tin can as far as the bazookas are concerned.
Right.
So there's do you get the infantry out of the half tracks into open ground?
Yeah.
Or do you keep them in the cover of the building but risk losing everything? So it's kind of an interesting dynamic there in the game.
And it's worth mentioning, Tom Rapetti did a great job of generating the new boards so this is board 3. I'm not sure if board 6 was modified as well, but those 2 big clumps of woods are actually hills on board 3, if you don't recognise what's happened there. So that was a replacement board. For the guys that have replaced their board, don't forget to switch it back out again to your normal board 3. Otherwise, you might have some surprises. Yeah,
and there are a lot of terrain changes and overlays and things like that in this. So so it's very grateful to Tom for sorting that out for us.
Good job, Tom. Yeah. All right. Okay. So we're going to see your game. So you're the Germans in this one.
I am the Germans. Yep. So I've loaded up my infantry into the various vehicles, and I've got the plan of bringing them all into as far forward as I can into the little central piece of open ground there around P10 on both boards.
All right.
Oh no, it's P10 and P0. So
take it away.
Here we go. Okay, I need to just click on that, and then I think they'll start moving. Yeah. Okay. So here they come. You can see lots of Americans take a couple of shots. I think. Oh, no, they don't. They just reveal themselves. Oh, there's a couple of shots. There we go. Okay, and that's the end of my movement phase.
That looks like a pretty good turn.
Yeah, I thought so. The idea was just getting close together, fire groups, move in different directions, etc. I think I've got some of them out. Yeah, some of them are actually out of the vehicles now. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I have got a half squad, I think, which has got out with the Panzerschreck. And then Richard reminds me, I think, that we agreed I would give him the balance. And so at some point, that's going to disappear. I know, it's a bit,
Okay.
So he gets some breaks, though. In fact, quite a few breaks.
Yeah.
Advancing fire, I think, is relatively ineffective. Let's have a look under there.
Sniper.
Yeah, relatively. Yeah, we have some sniper action. So I felt like, there was a few problems, actually. I had a few difficulties in this first round. And then it's his turn, and he goes for this sneaky action. You guarantee this guy has got a bazooka, can't you?
Yes,
absolutely guarantee that. He's doing the clever thing. He's advancing, I think, into L1, so he doesn't have to lose concealment. He moves, all his guys converging, get a couple of shots. I don't know why we call the vehicles Trump.
Okay.
There was some joke going on at the time about that.
Right.
But there we go.
Okay.
Interestingly, and I'd be interested in people's opinions about this, the 9-2 leader is not in the front line. In fact, he is either in T6 or in T7, one of those two, and does a sterling job of bringing the brokies back.
Right. Okay.
So it's a very, very different, not the most obvious use, but anyway, I then go on a little bit of a mission to deal with that guy.
Oh, you rolled a 10 on these to hit.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And they're quite small, these half tracks. I mean, they're a little bit more, gives them a little bit of. And then he started to break. He got a couple of guys break on the front. Makes me feel a bit more confident. Moving in for the kill on the isolated squad. Trying to get some. Yeah, of course, trying to get some. Because do armored assault, I think, and the guy there breaks.
Can you do armored assault with a half track?
I believe so. If not, we played that wrong.
No.
It's advancing fire, got the surround, but I don't think I break him. Yeah, no. I did break him. Okay. So I was kind of trying to be a bit in his face, a bit aggressive. That was the idea. See all the brokies like flying back into the woods behind on the left-hand side. As we look at the left-hand side. Right. So this is his turn 2, and he's doing some prep fire. Now he's doing some obviously moving about. A bit of skulking going on. I'm getting those vehicles adjacent, to try and bring some good fire in.
Yeah, just checking. Absolutely fine on the armored assault with a half track. So good job.
Thank you. Well done. Well spotted.
Well done for you. I didn't spot anything.
So he's taking quite distant shots, but with these, it's not that difficult to hit. Even like 3 hex range is a 7 base to hit. I'm not sure what he was firing at though, but I think. Okay, so again, now I'm taking out the other squad. It's my turn 3 now. I'm going around trying to pick on another isolated squad.
Right.
So I was sort of trying to sort of chip away at them, I suppose, on that right-hand side, while trying to put some pressure on the centre as well. And he starts to have some bad results there.
Yeah, nasty double 6.
Yeah. Okay, and we're where are we now? I don't know what.
So turn 3.
Axis still apparent, so it's still advancing fire, isn't it? Okay. Well, it's his final fire, isn't it? Okay, so we did a little bit of routing there. So I was actually struggling with the 666 on the right hand side. He kind of won actually in terms of that particular attack.
The 9-2 bringing the guys back there. To kill 11. Gets it there.
Yeah, gets it. And he needed a turret hit as well.
Yes, hold down there.
So he's getting his guys to a little bit of safety, they're rallying straight away. I mean, America's got very good broken morale anyway, haven't they?
Yes.
And the 9-2 leader in a woods or a building.
Yeah, well, it'd be good to see the other games and see where that 9-2.
That'd be very interesting. Yeah. So I'm trying to. Yeah, he's getting into that stone building. That's right. Okay. So what we got going on now? Right. So now I'm starting to push a little bit. Notice that 666 is in the open. albeit. But I managed to bog on trying to get over the thing. Another one comes along, does the same thing.
What was there was a double one there for something? Was that you?
It must have been the overrun.
Right. And then it was
I can't remember now, but it must.
Yeah.
Oh no, because the guys are still there. Yeah, it must have been an overrun.
Right.
I think. Yeah. So trying to push. Okay, so the difficulty is getting actually around to the victory condition hex in the vehicles, because it's actually really tight for vehicle bypass, and it's difficult getting around.
And of course, anyway, the Americans have the last turn as well, don't they? So
the Americans have the last turn. Yeah, exactly. That's right. So I feel like I'm doing okay at the moment. I'm like, pressing in, surrounding that kind of key hex. In fact, at this point, it's the Americans aren't in that hex, are they? And I'm got quite a bit of strength building around there. And this is turn 4. It's now the American turn.
Pushing them back.
Yeah. He's got a nice line developing. It gets a little disrupted by unit there. But it's now my turn 5. I've taken some prep fire shots. I can capture the hex, but I need to try and hang on to it in his turn 5.
Right.
Yeah, and he's also got turn 6 potentially.
Yeah.
Now what happens is, getting all the different vehicles in, and they're sort of trying to surround it completely with vehicles. That was my idea. There's not that many Americans left. So in his turn 5, they take some prep fire shots, but they don't make a huge difference to who's in control. They do advance into 07, which is obviously significant. So we've got some close combat going on. So it's my turn now. Prep fire is effective against Q7. He's still got a leader there. And I have to bring the vehicles in to try and surround the victory condition hex, so that he's nothing really he can do. Richard tries to use the leader in Q7, I think, to get into close combat with the vehicle called Trump in the victory condition hex, and can't. And that's the only unit that can actually get into that hex.
Right.
And in actual fact, I think, I can't remember which one I bypassed. There is actually a vehicle. The vehicle must be in bypass of R6, so that unit can't move.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where that Richard gave up. Yep.
Right. Okay. All right. Good game.
It was a fascinating game. I really enjoyed that sort of using the infantry and the vehicles together. So kind of hand in hand. They really complement each other. They got different weaknesses, but then it's absolutely fascinating. Yeah, and a great opponent. I've never played Richard before, which is surprising because I suppose I've sort of known him for a long time.
Yes.
But very, very, very nice man. Very enjoyable to play. Mm.
Excellent. All right. Okay. Excellent. So let's move on to the next one. And lucky Richard. And well done, Martin, for being in the second round. Okay, so we have Paul Legge against Tuomo Ilukari. Both good players. We know Paul. We know Paul quite well, and Paul is a bit of a silent assassin, isn't he? He's not the noisiest guy in the room, but he's certainly quite studious and quite learned. Yeah. And we have Tuomo, who we know from his games against Tom Robetti. So interesting to see this one. So Tuomo defending. Paul attacking. I will step through this, and you've already made an observation here, Martin, of Paul coming on this edge.
I wasn't. I'd be interested to see what Paul does. I wasn't sure of the. I was put off entering on that left-hand side by W10 the way Paul has, because you can't get them over the walls, can you? But it's obviously got a safe place perhaps to debus or whatever it is he's planning to.
Yeah, so it's great to see this, because it's even so there's a bit more of an upfront setup from the Americans, who have already spotted.
That's blocked. That line of sight should be blocked because there's a roadblock in Q8.
Is the roadblock only half? They're at level 1 up here.
Oh, they're at level 1. Then they're fine. Yeah, I didn't catch that. Yeah,
straight down the line there.
Yeah. very good.
Okay. He didn't take the shot though, so just presumably
Oh,
to.
perhaps he looks like he might be taking a shot now.
Right. Yeah. Here comes the. Oh, he's kept rate as well.
Yeah.
Okay, but nothing. Oh, maybe that was a. Oh.
No, he
malfunctions it. Oh, we know that feeling. We know that feeling. There must be something in ASL about that. Okay. All right. So, so it's interesting. So you pushed much harder on the first turn into a less upfront attack.
Yeah.
And Paul has.
He's much more spread out, isn't he? It's a very different type of attack.
And the Americans pushing forward as well. Yeah.
Well, it probably makes sense where they're pushing forward, actually, because they're protecting the open ground, aren't they, which those Germans will have to cross. They fell back on the right-hand side.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's have a look here.
He's got a hero already.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to ask you, was that
it wasn't in the, it wasn't in setup.
It wasn't, okay. All right, so the 9-2 there, up front, absolutely up front.
Yeah.
Always a tight line of sight there. Look at that one.
Yeah.
That's very tight, isn't it? Look at the 9-2. Not messing around there. Sees his friends.
He's in. Yeah. See, there's lots of Americans breaking.
Yeah.
See, so it's something to be said for having him in a more secure position.
Right. And Germans losing one half track there.
Yeah. And this is turn 3. We've already got the whole position infiltrated on the right-hand side.
Yep.
Albeit losing a half track now. Wow.
All right. So Americans still pushing forward.
Yeah.
Oh, that 9-2 looks very vulnerable there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. They wound the hero.
We've got some smoke.
We don't see enough smoke in our games, do we, Martin?
Nah.
I don't know what it is about our games.
Yeah, we gave up, didn't we? Gave up smoke.
Gave up smoking, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Well. What just happened to the Americans?
Oh, so there was a double 6 on the to hit there.
Yeah.
So.
He's really hung in there with a 9-2. There's been no serious attempt to withdraw him from that.
No,
position.
I mean, that's it. You're kind of off now. The blazing. I wonder if we'll see that fire spread as well.
I think we're quite near the end of the game.
So.
Right, he's in close combat now.
Yeah, so it's turn 5 of
he's
the
not.
American turns. No, so the Americans still holding out.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is a very Tuomo defense, isn't it? Where he's kind of got his whole defense lined up.
Yeah, for the final, for the end game, everything's there.
Yeah. No, okay, so there's some breaking now going on.
Yeah, and it's very significant breaking. It's the 9-2.
Yeah. Oh, there's some random selection there. Double 6. Oh, so Paul gets a double 1 on the IFT, and there's a double 6 on the random selection.
Wow, that whole stack has gone. Germans adjacent. This could go either way, but looks like a German.
Yeah, so now, okay, so they called it here. They called it here with a task check of a double 6. Now, Paul then wrote to me and was more than happy that the results stood and everything. There was no issue. But he basically said that he said that kind of realised it was all finished, but then realised that there was a half track that could still move from 3P9.
Right.
So there's this half track inside here that still had a movement. So he said he could kind of try to move it around 0908 P7 into Q8 to control the hex.
Yeah.
And obviously, if Tuomo routes out, if the unpinned squad in P9 and leader in P7 could advance in close combat, and if they gain ambush, they could withdraw to Q8. So they tried all that. The half track delays for 6 at the start, moves off, crosses the hedge for 13. Rolled a 9. So Martin, if you want to take control of this at the moment, we can play through what actually happened here. So this is the half track in P9. So 03 P9.
All right, I've got it. Yes, so it's pointing towards 09 at the moment.
Yeah. So so it delays for 6 at the start. Yeah. Moves off, crosses the hedge for 13. Roll a 9.
Which hedge? There's no hedge there.
Is there not a?
Does he mean this way? He means down to here.
Yes. Yeah.
That's 7, 8.
Yeah.
Presumably turn here 9.
And he rolled a 9. Rolled a 9 to pass the bog check by the maximum, and ended in motion in Q8. Okay. The squad in P9 and the leader in P7 both survived final fire and then advanced into P8.
So it's the leader in P7.
The squad in P9, leader in P7.
Yeah.
Both go to P. So they survive final fire, advance into P8. Half track goes.
I can't find the squad at the moment.
Not the guy in P7. The squad P7 in P9.
Can't advance into.
P9. The P9 guys advance into P8.
Oh right, okay, right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The half track went CE. In the close combat, there was no ambush, no effect for the German attack, and a casualty reduction on the squad by the Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So during the American turn, the sole prep fire was the half squad and the leader in Q7, which fired at P7. No result. During the movement, the squad in R8 assault moved, placed smoke in Q8, rolled a 5, and then broke to first fire. And we'll fly through this bit, don't worry. So then S9 moved to R7 via S8, survived a shot from Q8, pinned machine gun shot, Q7 went unscathed. Advancing fire, the bazooka needed snakes and failed. The pin squad didn't roll low enough. In advance, the half squad in Q7 failed its patsy, and the leader went alone, rolled in a 5 to leave the Germans victorious. So although the Americans won it, they replayed the end, and they would have had a glorious ending where the Germans won.
Wow, what an interesting game.
So,
so they played that through together?
Yes.
Subsequently?
Yeah. So harsh on Paul, but, that's a fair result, I guess. And they're both winners in our eyes, aren't they, really?
Absolutely. Absolutely. What a good game to manage for both of them to be able to walk away and say they won.
Yes, exactly. All right, on to the next one.
Okay.
All right, Martin. So here we go. We've got the very beautifully set up map here by the guys.
It's amazing.
They've been using the Vassal Templates application. So check out that. That's how you set all this kind of stuff up. I think
actually they have got who is which side. Dwayne is the Germans. It's written there.
Oh yeah,
I just didn't put who was which side, but they have.
You complained, and now there they are. Look at this. Beautiful guys, absolutely beautiful. Very very lovely.
Yeah.
So here we go. This is now Dwayne obviously is the reigning champion.
Yeah.
So
the man to watch, really.
The man to watch, indeed. So kind of interesting setup here with the Americans quite far out. We've obviously got the map trimmed a little bit, so it's not quite so, but they're protecting that very far right-hand flank here. So off we go. Dwayne's Germans push in hard. Again, using that road and the wall as protection.
But no infantry on that side.
That's right.
They're just vehicles, infantry coming down the middle.
And is that a nice use of the bypass counter there as well?
Yes, very good.
Nice. Yeah. Look at this as well. These guys. Look at them. Look how well they're doing with the nice overlays for stuff coming on. This is
absolutely perfect.
These are people that keep their collections neat as well. I know these are.
Look, amazing. Yes, there's an LV hindrance. I should have mentioned that.
Oh,
actually.
right. Okay.
All non-close combat attacks. Yeah.
Okay. Dwayne's
Oh, yeah.
awful. That's quite an anonymous start, isn't it? Snake Eyes followed by boxcars.
Do you know what? Dwayne's vehicle, they're beautifully lined up there, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's just. Yeah, he's
Dwayne was a
scored
very
it
strong
through.
player. Yeah, he's a very strong player.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and unbelievably only played one other player, other than the tournament.
Yes. Yeah.
So Will Morris become the first person apart from his brother to beat Dwayne.
Amazing.
So yeah, Americans regroup him.
Yeah.
More good shooting from Dwayne, or is that? It's the win roll, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we're in the movement, aren't we? Movement of turn 2.
We've got some close combat. What was the close combat roll? Is that? No.
No, it's not even in the close combat phase, I don't think.
Yeah, I saw a close combat.
No, I saw it too. I think it's sometimes you hit the wrong dice, don't you?
Very true, yeah. And then confuse people like us who are watching.
Yeah.
Far.
Yeah. I mean, if there's anyone watching, I do it on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have we seen the edit, the 9-2? Is he? Yeah, the 9-2 in the centre, in the foxhole.
Right, in the foxhole, yeah. It's an interesting place for that foxhole because you can't see when you're in the foxhole beyond the wall. Got those vehicles looking strong, building up like that. We've got some close combat.
All right. This is going to be
2-1.
Or at least, yeah. I mean, yeah. 2-1 with a -1.
2-1 with a -1. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that looks like a bad ambush roll.
Ooh, it does.
Okay.
I think that's probably.
Yes, I think that's all taken out, isn't it? Oh, it's.
Maybe not.
No.
They're in melee. The thing is, that's like half the German force in melee.
Yep.
Albeit infantry force, anyway.
Some very low rolls coming in there.
Yeah. He's won it now.
Yeah.
Okay. It's so good, these vehicles.
Has this given you a better appreciation of half tracks, this game?
Absolutely, yeah. As I said when I was playing, I thought it was fascinating. I mean, obviously I've played with half tracks before, but this is a real study in their use, I think.
Right.
Gosh, there's a lot of broken German units.
That's incredible, isn't it? Look at that.
Yeah.
That's a stack of broken units.
Definitely looks like an American win at the moment.
Yep, it's
Yeah, we kept them DM with the 6+1. Very shrewd.
On the attack as well there on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
And then comes the
smoke from the blazes, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And is that going to help the Americans or the Germans? Well, there's another
one on fire. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, now this is looking grim, isn't it? It
really is.
Yeah, there was some very good dice coming in.
Yeah. This has got to be unwinnable now, surely.
Looks tough, doesn't it? We're on
turn 4. German turn 4.
Yeah, more close combat.
Yeah.
Americans mopping up here.
Yeah.
And then pushing.
There is another counter-attack.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just lost a squad.
Yeah. There was a 3 on the attack there. Yeah, and then they call it there. The dice, just to give you an idea of the dice.
Yeah.
So Morris's dice, incredible. Morale check 4.5, to hit 5.5, to kill 5.7, other 5.7, close combat 5.8, rally 6, task check 6.3, IFT 6.4, average of 5.89.
Excellent.
for the last. I guess that's the last session they did. And poor old
Yeah.
Dwayne. I mean, Dwayne wasn't terrible, but his only double one was on a task check, and then he had 6.7s on rallies, and 7.67 and 7.5s on rail checks. So not terrible.
I thought, oh, Dwayne looks great the way he came on. It looked very kind of a masterful handling of the vehicles. I thought, but it wasn't to be.
It wasn't to be. Okay, so unlucky Dwayne. So we'll have a new champion. Well done, Morris. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so we've got Dave Maresque, who is the Germans, and he's up against Jerry Proudfit, the Americans. So here we go, another upfront defense here.
Yep.
On they come. Oh, a nice pincer attack this time.
Yes.
Oof,
and this is going the whole hog. This is
going all the way around.
Right.
Yeah, look at that. Very interesting. Okay. So small guys coming on. Got some.
Yep.
I do like the idea of sending one half track right round that side.
Yeah.
It does look like a good.
In fact, there's two over there, though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a very Toby-esque move to push hard on. Say push hard around the back. That doesn't sound right.
I think. Yeah. Gosh. Yeah. There's a gap. I was thinking he was, risking the bolt check, but of course he's not.
So there's a close combat already.
Yeah. Amazing. We are in turn 2 now, aren't we?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But he's on the hilltop, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I'm presuming he's got some good lines of sight there. To the back of the roadblock.
Yep. Yeah, it's the first time the hills come into play, isn't it, really?
Yeah. No other players use them in this sort of way. And you know what? It looks so obvious. Now we got Dave doing it. You kind of think, why didn't I do that?
Yeah. All right, so the Germans winning the melee there. Already the Americans looking a bit spread out, aren't they? But trying to kind of fight fires in each corner, as it were. But oof.
Wow, yeah.
And they come.
There's Germans everywhere. It's difficult to.
Yeah, so you've got the.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a brave half track there that's going in between. Or they're broken bazooka. So, and this is a broken stack as well. So I suppose actually that centre is looking quite weak.
Yeah.
There's a whole. Yeah, those 3 guys there are all.
There's only really one.
Exactly. Yeah.
So one squad, I guess.
And look at that now. So it's like completely enveloped, isn't it? They've,
yeah. Gone that way. Make sure he gets the.
Yeah.
DMs those Americans.
DMs. Oh, it's looking tough.
This is It does look tough. It's a formidable attack, really.
Yes. So these Americans are still holding out.
Yeah.
Yep. And then there's one's gone. And so bazooka, and it's like the last stand at Alamo here.
Yeah.
I should mention the March Madness guys, the Kansas City guys are adding another scenario pack as well to the prizes, so that will be the runner-up prize for the tournament. So thanks to those guys. Dave is part of that. Dave Maresque. So we've got a big melee going in there to perhaps finish the job off.
It hasn't.
No.
I mean, those guys in there are as tough as old boots.
They are. I'm not sure they'll be there to tell a story. But they've broken the.
Yeah. I think they fired into their own melee. The Germans fired into their own melee. I think that's how that happened. But it cannot last, surely.
No, you wouldn't think so, would you? Yeah. In goes the overrun, which is broken. Yeah. But there's no Germans in there other than the half track.
The half track can control his own hex.
Right. And now the Germans get in there.
Yeah, that's it. That's got to be the game.
We think so. There's prisoners next to them.
Yeah.
We've got the last push. It's the 9-2 has come in.
You never know what a 9-2 can do.
Well, you've just seen it. he breaks on 11.
Yeah, brilliant. An 8 plus 1 shot, or probably.
Yeah.
Or a 1 plus 1 shot.
Yeah. And then to add insult to injury, the bazookas are coming in. The American bazookas are coming in to defend it.
Okay.
And then, I would imagine this is
very close to the end.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So that was a
very different the way that game played out.
That's right. Yeah, very good to get that half track around the side there. That was good to see. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, so Tom Rapetti, Simon Staniforth. You just mentioned, Martin, it would be good to see about who's winning, like America versus the rest of the world. I've not been keeping count, but
no. I just suddenly occurred to me that you could either have this Brits v North Americans, or you could have United States citizens versus citizens of the Queen, and I think you would you get about a 50-50. Be interesting.
Okay, all right. Well,
so we have an American v a Brit in this one. So
yes. Let's cheer on. Let's cheer on Simon, but the Americans can cheer on Tom. Both lovely guys. So we'll see how these guys get on. So
absolutely.
Similar kind of setup, I guess, to what we've seen now. The more upfront seems to be the more popular defense by the Americans. And on they come. So again, that little field there. So it's kind of a fairly standard start, I think.
Yeah. Apart from having the infantry on foot on the left-hand side, that's
right. Yes, that looks like a long way to go for them.
Americans were drawing towards the centre.
Yeah, a bit of skulking going on.
Yeah,
looking strong in the centre there, isn't it? Now Oh, we've got a recall already, a sniper recall.
Amazing. Yeah,
and he used up his 6 as well on that. That's a great move by Tom. That's how you get to be a good player. It's very unlucky from Simon. So
he's going for the hill, though, isn't he?
He is going for the hill, yeah. So 9-2 here. It's getting a bit of fire, but he's. I mean that's very very bold there on the left-hand side as well.
Yeah.
Bazooka in bypass there, which isn't right. So we've got the half track comes down and attacks the. Yeah, that's the bazooka guy feels a bit embarrassed about that. He's
yeah.
So it's looking fairly. Even both forces are fairly well conserved here, aren't they?
Yeah.
9-2 right in the centre.
I mean, the US morale is so poor, isn't it, without something like that to keep them propped up.
Yeah, more fire coming in at that 9-2. Very exposed there.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
So the Germans are quite standoffish here, aren't they? They're
Yeah.
they're coming now. In they come.
Yeah, they're coming in now. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So we've had one attempt. The 9-2's survived it just with a pin.
Mm-hmm. But the squad's broken.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the guys coming in now.
And suddenly the Germans haven't got a lot left to throw at them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they've caught it here. So
yeah. So the guys on board 3V8, the infantry there, I'm not quite sure what that force comprises. It looks quite a lot.
Yeah, so this is turn 5. They had a turn left, which is obviously it's just not that there's not quite enough there.
It's not enough to support them. I mean, they're actually in the right place, aren't they, to do something in the last turn. Mm.
But I suppose there's too many. I mean, I think it's always frustrating to see the concealed Americans sitting there waiting for the attack.
Yes, yeah.
And you've got one left. So, okay, well, it looks harsh on Simon to start with the sniper, but we'll play Tom. So Tom is into the next round. We've got a result that David Garvin beat Jean-Yves. We don't have the log file for that one. And so the final one is Kevin Davao versus Richard Webb. Okay, so here we go. Richard Webb is playing Kevin Davao. As you can see, they've got the other way up.
I don't think my brain can cope with that.
Yeah, it's going to be quite difficult for us. Okay, right. So here we go. It's the same scenario. We're okay. We can figure it out. So
do we know which side is which? Do we know who Kevin is?
Yeah. So Kevin is the Americans. Kevin is the Germans.
Yeah.
And Richard are the Americans.
He's coming on.
Yeah.
With his German half tracks. Okay.
So
good.
Kevin is the Germans.
Mm.
So on they come.
Okay, coming in the centre there.
Yep.
And then into the wee field. Oh no. Now I'm not sure that they can do that.
You've gone straight over the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think half tracks can do that.
I agree. That did look like a leap.
Yeah. But who of us feels able to cast the first stone?
You play how you want, guys. It's all right. We all made mistakes. All right. Okay. So now, interesting. The Americans here set up very far back here. These guys here at the back.
But you know what they can get. Like I found this, watching these guys that people can get back to the middle quite quickly.
Yeah, as they've just had there. Yeah. But very central, big push.
Yeah.
Monty's having a chat to us as well.
Lovely.
Plenty of high rolls coming in.
Yeah, very good American squad there, pushing a little bit there with the half tracks.
All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 9-2 brought all the brokers back.
Yeah. And we're going to hear from Richard at the end of the game as well.
Oh, fantastic!
So he's gonna talk through. He sent us a little video clip as well, so we'll hear that. So they're pushing in. Kevin Davao just checking his dice there at the end of this first session with an 8.14 on his IFT rolls. It's always a.
So I'm guessing he wasn't checking because he thought he was rolling low.
We never do we? Americans pushing in. But the Germans have really got that central area. Okay.
There's a lot of Americans
Let's
about.
see what's going on in these stacks. So I mean, it's still.
Yeah.
The thing about this, it does guarantee a very tight game, doesn't it? With everyone. So. Okay.
Oops.
Germans looking good here compared to what we've seen in the past. Just turn 4.
Just had a squad break in the victory condition hex.
Yep.
Managed to rout out.
Yep.
They got the leader in there now. Broken again, but that's
So Americans holding on. Let's turn American turn 4.
I'd say Germans are struggling a little bit, but they got the vehicles. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
chuck
that's
them
right.
in, can't they?
Yeah, exactly. They're almost like an extra squad, aren't they, in terms of their... So Germans in control of the roadblock hex. Stunned now. Americans are off to DM some guys.
Right, that looks...
Oof. Yeah, that's a big swing there.
Yeah.
Looks good now for the Americans. Yeah, and suddenly there's very little Germans left.
And even less now.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, even less now.
And there we go. It's the end of the game. All right. Okay,
Fantastic.
Let's hear from Richard. All right, Martin. So round 2 of the tournament, you and your fellow victorious players will be playing a scenario from our other sponsor, so the Kansas City Wargaming Club with Encircle Productions, and you're going to be playing Erdonetta Ambush, which is from the full ASL rulebook pack. So it's a PTO scenario. Only been played once before by the looks of it. One Japanese win against the Americans. We will announce the pairings next time, or in fact between now and the end of between now and the next episode, we'll announce the pairings. So they'll be out. Everyone will have for the month of May to play that one, but feel free to get some practice in if you want to beforehand. Martin, we have a Patreon to give away our pack again. We'll try again with the two Great War packs that went unclaimed.
A lot of ASL there, isn't there, for a freebie?
Well, absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of a lot of.
I guess a little bit controversial World War One, isn't it? That's perhaps, but nonetheless, that's a lot of ASL.
There's a good amount of stuff here. So we've got so one lucky patron is going to get this. Martin, I need a number from 1 to 60, please. We have 60 patrons. Everybody is lined up in alphabetical order of their first name, from Aram's son down to Zeke. Martin, give me a number 1 to 60, please.
And it is number 4.
Number 4. Andy McMaster. Andy, we will be in touch. Andy, it's for once I haven't got to send this around the world. My postage fees is only going to Newcastle somewhere. So Andy, congratulations. I will send that your way very shortly. Andy did a great deal for me, by the way. I was looking for a copy of the Operation Chariot, and he sold me his copy at pretty much cost, which was incredible, because you just can't find that for love nor money.
Do you know I've bought things from Andy way back. He sold me the Japanese. This is when you could buy the unit for a fortune. He sold me the units and I think the rules for 20 quid or something like that.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy.
It wasn't everything there, but it was still an amazing deal. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Excellent. Okay, well, Andy, thanks for that, and we're going to get this off to you. Congratulations. So, anything else, Martin? Anything else?
We're done.
We're done. So with that, we're going to play next time. We're starting to play a double blind scenario. So this was sent over to us. We're going to try and play this one. So I don't know your forces or anything. I don't know your victory conditions. You don't know my victory conditions. I know it's in the desert. That's all I know. I'm going to send the setup over to you, and we're going to play that. It's quite big, so we're going to play it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So you sent me the German order of battle. So I'm the Germans, presumably.
You've already given away too much.
Russian sets up first. So I guess I'll get a map off you at some point. Brilliant.
Yes.
Looking forward to that.
All right, so we're going to play that, and what we'll do is I will obviously do a a chat, and I won't let you listen to my chat,
Yeah.
and then you can do the same thing, and I won't listen to yours, so that we are playing this.
Probably. Yeah.
All right. Until then, Martin, thanks very much.
Yeah.
Stay healthy, stay well.
Thank you. Take
See
care.
you all.
All.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Next scenario in a second or two, but the first thing we're going to do is our Patreon giveaway. We're going to try and give away again the Great War PSL. It didn't go. It wasn't claimed last time. I'm going to try and stop my dog barking. Hang on a second.